Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Jon Wyles. I'm from a company called Simply Storage Expert, and this morning I'm going to talk about effectively managing self-storage prospects. Just to give you a little bit of background about me, I was the founder of a company called Smart Storage in the UK, which was a five-store business with 200,000 square feet of rentable space all around the city of Liverpool. I was also the director and vice chairman of the UK Self-Storage Association, which is the largest self-storage market in Europe. I now live in Vancouver and work in Vancouver, and I'm a consultant to the self-storage industry to businesses both in Canada and the United States. So I've always maintained that doing the business is actually the easy part. It's getting the business which is actually the hard part. And what I mean by that is once we have a customer, as long as we keep our facilities clean, dry and secure, and we run them to the appropriate standard using the appropriate processes, then actually managing the facilities should be fairly straightforward. It's actually getting the business, actually making that telephone ring and securing that business, which is the hard part. And that's what I'm going to talk about this morning. And when I started my business, there were a number of questions I was asking myself, and I didn't have the answers or the information to provide the answers. And these included questions such as, how many inquiries did I need to increase my net occupancy by 1,000 square feet per month? And what is the lead time from the initial inquiry to move in, i.e. when the customer starts paying? And also, what is the cost per inquiry for my YP advertising? In fact, for any paid advertising I do. Who was the best performing salesperson, or who is your best performing salesperson? More importantly, who is your worst performing salesperson? How do you record your sales conversations? If you convert 30% of your inquiries, what is happening to the other 70%? And if you convert 70% of your inquiries, is your price too low? Well, these are questions I couldn't answer, so I put a process in place in order to give me the answers to these questions and many more. And really, this was the reason why I put together a prospect management process. And really, it was to increase inquiry conversion, improve my return on my marketing dollar, improve staff performance, and ultimately increase revenue. So really, this was a funnel. It was a prospect management funnel, and I'm sure most of your business have something that look very similar, where at the top end you're trying to make that telephone ring using the various methods: websites, signage, yellow pages, Craigslist, whatever it may be, and then understanding how much it was costing to make that telephone ring with each one of those types of inquiry, and then funneling down into telephone, drive-by and internet inquiry, and understanding the conversion rates of these particular types of inquiry. Then my inquiries went into my sales process, how we managed that sales process, and how we recorded the data and how we reported on it, and then made the decisions within our business from it. And so I processed every element of my business, everything from a walk-in inquiry, and you can see the process for a walk-in inquiry here, and really down to the minutiae of detail. So for example, when someone walks in, they stand up, and my staff use discovery questions to understand what the person's self-storage problem or their storage problem was, so we could find the best resolution. And this would include understanding whether they needed heated or unheated units, whether they needed good access to their units, how they were getting their goods to the store. If we had a courtesy truck, then we could use that as a benefit. If we had a rental truck company, then we were able to then possibly get a truck rental out of this as well. And really going through all the way through the process, when we were actually walking around the facility, know where we're going, know what we're showing, know the price and what the benefits of our facility is, and the relevant benefits. And this really came down to really what a lot of people find is the hardest question, which is asking for the business. But if we've done the right discovery and we've qualified the inquiry, then actually asking for the business should be one of the easiest questions. And if we've asked for the business and they say yes, that's great, and then we try and sell them moving supplies. And I mystery shop a huge amount of self-storage facilities, and I'm always amazed by the amount of people who don't ask whether I need boxes. I'm moving house, I'm surely I do need boxes, but I'm never asked. So we always made sure that was part of our process, and also contents insurance to sow the seed at this stage. But what if they didn't become a customer? How did we manage that? Well, obviously we try and overcome the objection and see whether we could actually get the reservation there and then. But if not, we would no doubt provide them with a quotation, and we would set a follow-up within our prospect management process, or within our customer relation management process, our CRM package. And this was very similar to telephone inquiries. Obviously, we don't have the advantage of being able to walk people around the store and actually show our product, i.e. our storage rooms and our boxes. But nonetheless, a very similar process is followed, where we're going through the discovery process, the presentation process, and asking for the business. And if we can't secure the business on the first contact, how we're actually going to follow up. Same with email. We're really trying to turn this into a telephone inquiry and manage it in that way. But if we can't, then our communication will be by email, and how we actually manage that in terms of the price we quote, because this will be different. We should be quoting the lowest price possible for the unit which has been asked for, because really all we can do is compete on price in this situation. But again, it's really how this inquiry is managed and where the information was recorded. Now, I maintain that actually one thing that should be used in every self-storage business is an inquiry form. And this is quite traditional, but I think it's very important, because it does two things. It keeps all the information in one place in a consistent way, and enables that information then to be loaded into your prospect management system or your CRM system. But also it acts as a prompt for your staff. So on the front desk, they actually know that what information they need to capture, contact information, and then go through a discovery process with the what, the when, the why, the how questions, and so on. What size they've quoted, whether someone needs AC or non-AC, and the price, and also any specials or promotions, moving supplies. Do they need a lock? Do they need contents insurance? And then, have they set a follow-up? Have they sent an email inquiry? And also an area to keep notes about this specific customer. Now, those who have worked on the front desk in self-storage facilities, and I'm sure most of you have at some time or another, will know that it's quite distracting. 1 minute you're dealing with the inquiry, then the telephone goes, then you have to show someone a unit, then you maybe have to do some housekeeping, and it can be very distracting. So by having all this information in one place in a consistent way, enables you to then come back and put it onto your system and then create your follow-up. So this inquiry is not lost in the mire, and it's not on a post-it note, it's not in someone's notebook. And once we've gathered all this information, what are we going to do with it? Well, we're going to report, and this information enables us to actually start producing some management information. And you can see in this situation, or in this example, in the top, we have our store, which has had number of inquiries, 140 inquiries in this particular period. We can see the conversion rate week by week, and also the overall conversion rate for the period at 33%. In the middle column, we can see our staff performance, and we can see that we have a manager, an assistant manager, and a store assistant in this particular scenario. And we can see that actually our manager is the worst performing of the three, and we can see that in the graph in the middle here, staff performance. So if we can increase our manager's performance by maybe 5 or 10%, that's going to have a major implication on the revenue for this business. So now that I can see he or she is the worst performer, then what I can do, I can actually address that and try and understand why. Are they not very good on the telephone? Do they need some more training in certain areas? In terms of my lead source, you can see that actually the majority of my leads in this business are coming through my website. But actually, if you look at the bottom pie chart, you can see only 10% of them are converting. Why is that? Do I have my prices online? Do I allow people to actually reserve online and take a payment? If I do, and I physically take a payment, then I will stop that person from shopping, because they will have made a financial commitment to me, and therefore they will consider their storage inquiry or their storage problem, they found a solution to it, and they will stop shopping. You can see the conversion rate by inquiry type. Now in this case I've got 60% for walk-in, 30% for telephone, and 10% for internet inquiries. Well, I consider them all to be low, but now I can see the numbers. I can start to address this and try and get these conversion rates up for the 3 different inquiry types. In terms of marketing expenditure, if I know what I'm spending on a monthly basis on my website, my Yelp advertising, my YP, etc., then I can start to work out my cost per inquiry, and this can all happen automatically within your CRM package. So then you can start to allocate your marketing dollar better. And in this example on the graph in the bottom left hand corner, you can see that actually website and Yelp are my cheapest forms of advertising in terms of cost per inquiry, but my referral is my second most expensive. And in this particular case, I'm charging $40 or I'm paying $40 per referral. Well, what if I was only paying 25? Would I get less referrals? And could I spend that $15 difference somewhere else within my marketing budget? I don't know the answer, but now that I can see that it's the most expensive, maybe I'll look at playing with that and actually changing it slightly. Now, in my business in the UK, we used a CRM package, and this was the dashboard, and this was what was everyone's really desktop, everyone's home page in the business. And really what this did, what we tried to do, was turn our business from a storage business into a sales business. And we could then see, the sales agent's performance each month, and we could compare it to each other. So we started creating some competition within our business. We could see our inquiry pipeline, how many inquiries are open, how many rooms are reserved. We could see our average cost per reservation by lead source, so which lead sources are actually working. We have multiple stores, so for this example I've only got 2 stores on, but basically we could actually see the store performance against each other, and this created competition between the stores, which was a very healthy thing. We could see in the middle here how long it had actually been since certain inquiries had not been dealt with, or not been followed up, or not been contacted. So very quickly we could actually see what was actually required, and there was a huge amount of reporting in terms of daily to-do lists. So really these there wasn't a long period of time between contact within our follow-up process. On the right hand side we could see our lead source per month, and also our converted inquiries by type as well. So with this information, this snapshot dashboard information, we could get a very good view of our business, and it would be a different view for maybe a manager or an owner compared to someone working on the front desk. But nonetheless, it meant everyone had visibility in real time about what was happening with our prospects. And really this is the information going from our inquiry form into our system, and as you can see we have prospect details, discovery questions, information about the unit, any kind of discount, but really the important piece is at the bottom, which is the follow-up that's been set up, and also the history of this customer where we're recording our sales conversations. So anyone can pick this inquiry up and deal with it. So what are the benefits to staff? Well, they now have a clear and measurable process to follow. They have more accurate information to forecast the performance of their store on a monthly and quarterly basis, and even a weekly basis. They have consistent and more efficient quoting process, because the quotation can come directly from your CRM and be recorded within your CRM package, so everyone can see what's actually been quoted to that customer. We improve the customer experience because we have a consistent way of dealing with them, and ultimately we're going to increase revenue. So what are the benefits to management? Well, we've now introduced a proactive inquiry management system, which enables us to help with promotions. For example, should we introduce a manager special halfway through the month because we're not getting enough inquiries? It helps us with our pricing decisions, certainly helps us with our marketing mix and where we should be spending our marketing dollar, certainly staff training because we can identify where there are strengths and weaknesses, and it provides us with accurate management information. So in summary, what we've done here is we've created a process, we've recorded the information, it's been consistent, it's been accurate, and it's been measurable. And we're able to then audit information because we have a system where we can actually run some reports to understand what information we have and how this can help our business. And what we've done here is we've made prospect management our priority, how we're actually going to get this business, the hard part. And if we have a process, and we follow the process won't let us down. And if the process does let us down, it's not our staff's fault, it's the process's fault, and we can come back and revisit the process and change it to get it right. I hope that's been useful. If you have any queries or questions, or would like to discuss prospect management in more detail, here are my details on the screen. I'll be delighted to speak to you. Please by all means drop me an email or give me a call. I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thank you.